Hi and welcome to my channel, it's Patsy. So I've been trying to get on for the last couple of weeks to do this tag, but my life is just one hell of a mess at the minute. So it's been a bit of a struggle to try and find the time to get on. So I've got a chance this afternoon, so I thought, oh, quickly jump on and do this. And it's a hashtag to my friend Julia over at Highly Sensitive Tarot. And it's the hashtag my 10 most neglected decks of 2023. So I've had a quick look through my decks, and I usually know where to look because they're stored somewhere different to the rest of my decks. The first one I'm going to show you is my oldest deck that's still in my collection. It's battered old box, and it's my little Hansen Roberts. Now, this was a real workhorse for me for many years. I mean, it's all discoloured and a bit battered looking now, but it's a lovely little deck. I'll never get rid of it because, like I said, it's been with me for a long time, but I was never a huge fan of the original Rider-Waite images. And even though I learnt with that Rider-Waite original deck, this was the one that really spurred me on to do a lot of readings, and I used this to read for other people's when I worked in a little shop for my daughter. I used to do readings for her, and this was always a deck that I used. But this year, cards have got a bit stuck together. I should have to go through those. But this year I haven't got that out at all. Sometimes I do still pull it out to do a little bit of a reading with it. But this year it's just been sitting on my shelf out the back. But yeah, so that's the Hansen Roberts. The next one is this one, the Ancestral Tarot. I can't talk today. Now, I love this deck. I've had this a long time. Oh, where's it gone? There we go. I do like this deck. I'm not a particular fan of the backs of them, but the actual images on these cards are gorgeous. Now, I know the reason why I don't use this deck, and it's simply the size. It is so big in my hand, I can't even properly hold them in my hand properly. I really wish they were smaller because it's such a lovely deck, and I like to do nine card boxes for readings and what have you, and then add to them. And cards this side, it's just, you need such a big space to be able to do that, and it's just so cumbersome, and no, it just doesn't work for me. So that one is another one I haven't touched, and I know why, but I still won't get rid of it because it's such a gorgeous deck. I just wish they'd bring it out again in a smaller, more comfortable size to use. So that's the Ancestral Tarot by Julie Watts. I think I say his name. The next one is this one, the Herb Crafters Tarot, and this is by Joanne Power Colbert. Yeah. Now, this is a gorgeous deck, and I know the reason why I haven't used this is because there's the backs. I got this as a study deck, and how my life has been this year, it just isn't the time to be doing too much study or too much in-depth work, studying new decks and being able to put the time and energy into it. So I've kind of left it on the back shelf, but it's so gorgeous. I'm going to leave this one out because this next coming year I really need to get to grips with this because it's so beautiful. I've actually seen people what's trimmed the edges of this, and it stands out and it's really stunning, but obviously I can't do that with my eyes. But it's beautiful. So it hasn't been used this year for that reason, but it's going nowhere and it's staying. I'm going to move that to this side of the house. So I do actually get round to studying that. So the next 3 are from the same artist, the same creator. The first one I'm going to show you is this one. They're Forina Cassidy decks, and I love the artwork of Forina Cassidy. And at one time, this one I'm showing you now was my top favourite deck, and it's been used the hell out of. I mean, it's getting a bit grubby and what have you, but it's the Joie de Vivre, and this was used constantly a couple of years ago, and it was, like I say, always in my top 10 and always near the top, if not the favourite. And this used to give such lovely readings and such a gentle deck when you're not feeling it. And I think the trouble with what I've done with this one is, because I used it so much, it kind of got pushed to the back with all these other new decks coming in, and then I completely forgot about it. So that one will be staying this side of the house to use, because that is a lovely deck. Another one again is the same author and everything. The creator is Forina Cassidy as the backs, and this one is the Spirit Song Tarot. Now, I'm not great with animal decks. This one I've had a long time, and I absolutely adore this one. It does have keywords on this one, and I do adore this one, and I'll never get rid of that, because I just, like I said, I love Forina Cassidy's artwork. But I just haven't pulled it. Out, but it's going nowhere. It will get used again. It's such a beautiful deck, and it reads really well when I do use it. So again, that one's going nowhere. I just haven't used it this year. But I'm not a huge one for animal decks anyway, so it's not very often I'll pull an animal deck out. So the next one again is by Forina Cassidy, but she has changed the name of this deck. It's Paulina Faye. Same person, just a name change. And this one is the Fantasia Tarot. Again, there's the backs. And again, this one I used constantly when I first got this. And again, it's one of those that other decks have come in and it's got pushed to the back, and it was just not calling for me to pull out, but it weren't in my eye, in my vision of my eye sort of thing. So again, this is another one. What is going to be kept this side of the house, so when I go to pull a deck, see what I'm called to, it will be there in my view to be able to say, oh yeah, we'll have that one today, because it's a gorgeous tarot. I just need to use it, but this year I haven't touched it at all. So that's the Fantasia Tarot. So the next one is a Kiro Marchetti deck, and it's the Anor Tarot. This is French version. I do like Kiro Marchetti's work. It's the backs, and I've got quite a few decks what are in French, and it's not a problem. I probably use some of his other decks more, and I'm not called that often to use this one, but it is a lovely tarot, and it ain't going to go nowhere, because I know I'll pull it again in some time in the future, but it's just nothing I've been pulling at the minute. But now I'm showing you, I'm like, oh, maybe I should be pulling this one rather than the other one that I have been working with, because it is lovely. But I just haven't used this an awful lot, to be honest. But this year, not at all. But yeah, I think I need to have a shuffle around with my decks, what are out in the back of the house, and bring them to the front of the house, and take some of the ones from the front of the house back to the back of the house and give them a bit of a swap around, because when they're out there, I tend to forget what's out there. So this is the Anor Tarot by Kiro Marchetti. So the next one is the Tarot of the She. Now, I haven't used this at all this year. Again, this is one deck that I used to use quite a lot. And then actually I got rid of it because I didn't use it. And then I rebought it because I missed having it. So it's not going nowhere. it's not going to be going anywhere again this time, because as soon as I do, I want it back in my collection. So it will be staying, but I don't know. I'll probably have to be in the right frame of mind to use this. I don't know, because it's gorgeous, and I do enjoy working with it. It's probably the name changes and what have you that, you know, they have. Sometimes if you're not in the right headspace, it's just like, what am I looking at? Oh, you know, so it could be that, but it ain't going nowhere. It just hasn't been used this year. Made that mistake of getting rid of it. I had to bring it back. So no, that's staying. So I have 2 left. So the next one is this one, Influence of the Angels Tarot by Jodie Brzezinski Barbesi. Is that right? Barbesi, yeah. This is a beautiful deck. Again, it got put out when I had my shuffle around, and it got put out the back. And it's one that I keep forgetting to pull out. And I used to love this deck. I used to use this all the time. The artwork on it is really beautiful. I really enjoy this deck, actually. So again, this is going to be another one that I'm going to have to keep this end. I'm going to keep it this end so I remember to use it, because it is a lovely little deck. Very RWS. Don't know why that's upside down. I don't even read reversals, but there you go. Yeah, so that is the Influence of the Angels Tarot. So that will be staying out as well, so that can go that side. So the last one that I'm going to show you is this one. It's the Tarot of the Golden Wheel. Now, I bought this deck for a particular purpose a few years back, and I did use it for that purpose. But now it's kind of become defunct, I think, because I got the what is it called? Now I forgot. The Slavic Tarot deck. I don't know. Can't remember. I can never remember its full name. But yeah, so I use that constantly. So this one is kind of got pushed to the back, and it's not one that I reach for, because I use the other one. So it's a shame, because this one is a beautiful deck. And the only other thing with this one too, it's a longer card. The cards are longer. You know, normal size cards are probably about that, but it is longer because you've got the titles on the bottom. So again, when you do the 9 spreads, it does kind of make it that little bit bigger. But beautiful deck, reads really well, and I'm sure I will use it again, and it ain't going nowhere. None of these decks are going to be going anywhere. I love this death card. It's just that this one's been replaced with another deck. But this one is beautiful in its own right, and I really should. I could always chop the bottom off, because that wouldn't be too much with my eyes, to make it a bit smaller if I really needed to. But yeah, so that is the Tarot of the Golden Wheel, and that is by Mila Lysenko. So that is my 10 neglected decks of 2023. I'm sure there's probably more than 10. I'm sure there's probably a lot more than 10, even though I do every now and again go through all my decks and have a good clear out of them. There's some decks like these ones that even though I'm not using, I wouldn't part with, because I do love them. But yeah, I've really enjoyed this hashtag, and I've been enjoying watching other people's, but I wanted to get on and do it for Julia. So there we go. That is my top 10 neglected decks. Thank you for watching if you stayed with me, and I will speak to you all soon. Bye for now.